The Darkness That Engulfed the World. A tale by Learning English Listening.
The world was plunged into darkness. The sun had gone out, and the sky was pitch black. People were terrified and confused. How would they survive without the sun? How would they grow food, stay warm, or find their way in the dark? The government had a plan. They had built an artificial sun that would provide light and heat for the world. The sun was the only source of power, and whoever controlled it would have all the power in the world. The race for control of the sun began. There were two main factions that emerged. The first was led by the government, who controlled the artificial sun. They had the resources and the manpower to keep the sun running, and they believed that they should have control over it. The second faction was made up of rebels who believed that the sun should belong to the people, not the government. The rebels were led by a woman named Sarah. She had lost her family in the darkness and was determined to make a better life for the survivors. She had gathered a group of people who believed in her cause, and they set out to take control of the sun. The battle for the sun was intense. The government had hired mercenaries to protect the sun, and they were heavily armed. The rebels had to use guerrilla tactics to stay alive. They would sneak into the government's territory and sabotage their equipment, causing the sun to malfunction. The rebels had an advantage in that they knew the terrain better than the mercenaries. They would use the darkness to their advantage and strike when the mercenaries least expected it. They were also able to convince some of the mercenaries to switch sides, using their charm and their promise of a better life for everyone. Sarah knew that the battle for the sun was not just about resources, it was also about the people. She believed that the government was corrupt and that they did not have the people's best interests at heart. She wanted to create a world where everyone had equal access to resources and power. One day, Sarah and her team were able to infiltrate the government's headquarters. They found out that the government had been hoarding resources and keeping them from the people. They had also been using the sun's power for their own benefit, rather than using it to help the people. Sarah knew that she had to act fast. She rallied her troops and launched a final attack on the government's headquarters. The battle was brutal, but in the end, the rebels were able to take control of the sun. Sarah was hailed as a hero. She had created a world where everyone had access to resources and power. The sun was used for the benefit of all, rather than just a select few. The darkness that had once engulfed the world was now a thing of the past. The world had changed, but Sarah knew that there was still work to be done. She vowed to continue fighting for the people and to create a world where everyone had a chance to thrive, regardless of their background or social status. The battle for the sun may have been won, But the fight for a better world was far from over.